Steve Whetstone, founder of the HOEP project. Very smart, no money, lots of solutions for solving world problems. Electric Universe Geology. Steve Whetstone shared the post. Newest video by Doug Vogt and the DeHolt Foundation about Earth catastrophe cycle. There's a lot of geologic fact-checking I'd like thoughts on from the group. Also, there's a lot of politics and current events and electric universe theory to discuss. I think I personally disagree with his explanation for the creation of Grand Canyon, which he says is water, but Andrew Hall says the Grand Canyon was an electric-caused canyon. So Doug has a lot of independent knowledge but doesn't seem up to date on the latest research and science in this group. IMO2AFAIK. #StrawHot4DKingPrit. Steve Whetstone solutions for Earth catastrophe cycle. If their survival bunker entrances are not built to the standards in my head, they will not survive the expected flooding. Doug Vogt of DeHolt Foundation agrees with you about the government's poor design standards for the bunker doors and has a contest to ask for help with design of a suitable entrance door capable of surviving the hydraulic pressures. I guess I'm skeptical that the ocean will cover the land that way at that depth. But I am curious about you. So would you tell them that didn't help them? Or would you suppress and keep secret the danger for yourself to know only? Become like them? Sincerely curious from #ECC, #S4ACT2048 Solutions for Earth Catastrophe Cycle 2048, and #StrawHat4DKingPrit. Series 4 Part 6e The heat output of the NOVA designing the cave door answering questions. 4,135 views since June 21, 2021 with 522 upvotes and 11 downvotes by DeHolt Foundation with 34.7k subscribers. Difficulties in designing the door system and the variables. Answering questions on the door system. Answering questions on location. Answering questions involving before, during and after the reversal. Answering questions on the corporate structure and who to be saved. Answering questions on survival in a cave for an extended period of time. Philosophical questions. 10 comments. Robert Russo. He makes a lot of interesting videos, but if this event was as bad as he claims, there wouldn't be much of a human race. They all would have died off already. Not to mention the idea this happens every 12k years. Really? I doubt we could get wiped out to a few hundred people and repopulate to billions that quickly. Point 1. Like. Reply. Share. 3D. Active. Steve Whetstone. Author Robert Russo. I think mainstream genetics-based history regression says we had a population bottleneck for the Toba extinction event 42,000 years ago. But most of 12,000 years cycle events seem to leave millions of survivors, or at least more than 144,000 survivors. People and animals come back after near extinction very quickly when at low numbers the humans can find a good ecosystem niche and rapidly recolonize a planet in a few thousand years after a catastrophe cycle has reduced them to scattered Stone Age and Mad Max-type dystopian futures. The people get wiped out slowly from different causes too, like some from X-ray and cosmic ray poisoning die slowly and some just become infertile, and there's a lot of mutation for a few hundred years or a few decades too. I'm not really sure either. It seems like historically and archaeological data says a lot of different things and stuff don't all add up to paint the same picture easily. There's definitely some large nation-sized parts of the Earth that seem to survive with moderate deaths on some parts of the Earth, and other parts might get very high death counts with no survivors in a nation-sized area. 1. Like. Reply. Share. 3D. Edited. Robert Russo. I say we take off and nuke the entire site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. Point 1. Haha. Reply. Share. 3D. Active. Steve Whetstone. Author Robert Russo. That idea has occurred to some of the people who know about these things. Seems like other non-terrestrials or some formidable force doesn't like the idea of killing most people on the planet. Military commanders of different nations have said repeatedly they believe it's a miracle they didn't nuke the planet on accident. But, apparently your idea is talked about seriously by some. But maybe you just want to joke around and lighten the mood. It's okay to joke and make fun of something scary if it helps you process it. Here's a funny video about some fictional Mars secret space program people who you'll find very amusing, I expect. https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=sq07vbmmg70. YouTube com because we care. Adult language BS because we care. Adult language. Like, reply, share,
We have been on
remove
Mars
preview.
for some time.
1D.
We have structures
Robert
and technology
Russa, that
you wouldn't
suspicious
believe.
observes
We
guy
don't
is a
need
tool.
to take ships to
1.
and from our new
Haha.
home anymore.
Reply, share, 1D. Active. Steve Whetstone, author Robert Russo. I'm not sure what you know about who, since your profile looks empty like it's a shell or fake profile, so mostly likely that makes you the tool. But if you believe in such things as nuking the planet from Earth, then I'll say the rumors are that the military faction called the Alliance nuked underground military bases controlled by the military faction called the Cabal, as explained in QAnon and older conspiracy theories. Anyway, it seems like some rich politicians or secret cultist or government deep state survivalist have all had this idea of yours to kill of the dumb surface dwellers to make sure they don't interfere in the survival plans of those who own the bunkers or spaceships. Apparently there's at least some good people in power, or some stories about people in power who are trying to prevent most of us dumb sheep from getting killed prematurely or from our own stupidity. But, I would mention that's only a rumor and not believed by most humans. Most humans are of course convinced their biggest problem is some racist orange-haired bigot keeps appearing on the news despite the efforts to censor him that started when he was still leader of the largest and most powerful military force on the planet. The guy with the orange hair said the press and media were tools, like the way you say the suspicious observers guy is a tool. So they censored the guy with orange hair, which I guess is part of our culture and history since we killed JFK for talking to the public too much about secrets that sheep should be kept dumb about long ago. Here's a picture to enjoy and consider in case you're not the type to read or watch a video. Like, reply, share. 1D. Robert Russo, if you honestly believe that this shit is going on, nuking underground Cabal bases, Q conspiracy shit, and that it would leak out to you and you're just some guy on the internet reading it all and sucking it up like it's real, go take a look in the mirror and ask yourself what the fuck you're doing with your life. All these crazy-ass conspiracies are just bullshit that appeals to a certain group of people who have nothing better to do than daydream about unprovable insane shit. You like believing you're special, that you've found some hidden knowledge, that you're part of some heroic group that's in the know about some great battle, and you're really just some dude who posts shit on Facebook. If you were a real hero, you would be out changing the world. 1. Like, reply, share. 1D. Active. Steve Whetstone, author Robert Russo. You wrote, if you honestly believe that this shit is going on, nuking underground Cabal bases, Q conspiracy shit, and that it would leak out to you and you're just some guy on the internet reading it all and sucking it up like it's real, go take a look in the mirror and ask yourself what the fuck you're doing with your life. I think there's a chance this canon stuff is true, but then I think crazy things like there's a chance the CIA dosed scientist with LSD to experiment with mind control and kept it secret from the general public for 50 years. So I deal in probabilities, not certainty, and I certainly think some of the QAnon is probably true. Some of it's probably not true. Most of the QAnon isn't even Q, it's false flag CIA fake Q disinformation. The bad people don't need to censor or silence most truthers with violence, they just pay some shill, maybe like you, to make fun of them and discourage them and produce 10 pieces of disinformation news for every piece of real news. You wrote, and you're really just some dude who posts shit on Facebook. If you were a real hero, you would be out changing the world. FYI, I'm not just some guy, and I could go into details, but actually, this brings up the question of WHO are you and what are you doing to make the world better? You seem to know the name Ben Davidson enough to throw shade on him without actually having any evidence or making a specific reason for attacking his credibility. So what's your deal? Because yes, I am Facebook friends with Ben Davidson and a lot of other leading scientists in the electric universe geology areas of science. And you seem to think you know me, but obviously don't. So, WHO are you? Your profile. I looked and it doesn't look real. Looks like a troll or fake profile. Only 2 postings to your Facebook profile, ever. I try to keep an open mind about people, but you have the profile that fits the stereotype of a troll disinformation agent. So you want to explain yourself? Or should we just reach the obvious conclusion about you? IMO2AFAIK. Like, reply, share. 14H. Edited. Robert Russo, Steve Whetstone. I am no one special, but I am also not delusional, believing in secret underground wars using nuclear weapons. If you were a scientist, you ought to know better than to believe in unverifiable bullshit. Point 1. Haha. Reply. Share. 8H. Active. Steve Whetstone. Author Robert Russo. You wrote, I'm no one special, but I am also not delusional, believing in secret underground wars using nuclear weapons. If you were a scientist, you ought to know better than to believe in unverifiable bullshit. I'm not alone in being skeptical of the existence of accepted, settled science of black holes. Black holes are not verifiable, but are verifiably bullshit. There's actually a lot of people in the electric universe community who are mature enough to recognize and accept the government and top scientists and publishers all work together to keep secrets from the public, such things as the true causes for wars usually being a false flag attack by the USA. I can believe President JFK said there was a vast secret organization intent on enslaving all of mankind. 7 days before he was murdered. I can believe the director of the CIA who stated their disinformation program will be complete when everything the American public believes is false. The world governments all have their scientists sign secrecy oaths and sign NDA since they learned the dangers of telling the public about true science during the Manhattan Project. You strike me as kind of naive, and I wonder how old you are. Most of us in this community have watched videos and know about government and orthodox science establishment and military-industrial academic complex censorship, discrediting and psyops. Anyway, I'm not alone, and Gov knows all about me, and there's over 1 million people in the USA that know about this stuff. The governments just want to mind control the sheep and don't much care if a few brilliant renegade scientists or freethinkers learn about some of the truths. Anyway, why is it so upsetting to you that I believe in these things that the orthodox media used for manufacturing consent? You seem to be looking down on me for thinking outside the government-approved box. Who are you and what's your real agenda here? And getting back to my initial point, what's your evidence for saying that suspicious observes guy is a tool? And why did you write, I say we take off and nuke the entire site from orbit? It's the only way to be sure? Like. Reply. Share. 6H. Edited. Active. Right to public reply. Active. Right to public reply. About. Electric Universe Geology is a group that discusses electrical discharge in geology. This includes striation layers, vortices, triangular buttra. This includes striation layers, vortices, triangular buttra. See. A.D. Hall. Can it be done? Lots of people say no. They say nature is too vast for us feeble humans to influence, too complex to ever understand. This is hogwash, of course. All it takes is energy. Enough energy introduced in the right way will change the climate. CO2 doesn't do that, by the way. CO2 theoretically captures a minor fraction more energy from the sun than Earth would otherwise reflect, but it doesn't amount to a hill of beans. One comment. Active. Steve Whetstone, thank you for sharing this free information, knowledge and wisdom. I subscribe to your blog, number 513, and got this in my email and already shared it to my favorite Facebook group called Solutions for Earth Catastrophe Cycle, https www.facebook.com/groups/solutions for Earth Catastrophe Cycle 2048, and here is a direct link to your excellent blog post for reference. https://www.facebook.com/groups/solutions for Earth Catastrophe Cycle 2048/post/88507752572365 I found this very interesting and have two thoughts I particularly wanted to share. 1. Someone I know who joined my Facebook group claims storm systems are attracted to microwave Doppler radar. This seems consistent with what you say. If you are interested in videos by the woman who proved Doppler radar is affecting weather, consider this link and post. https://www.facebook.com/groups/solutions for Earth Catastrophe Cycle 2048/post/877824866448925/2 closing parenthesis. Do you ever think the Earth and planets might briefly transition to a polar orientation with a dimmer sun that is directly over the North Pole, like in the Ganymede hypothesis? In such a situation, the pole might seem to flip 90 degrees like has been reported in some stories. I noticed in Thunderbolt's project how there's still human symbols and archaeological evidence that Earth might periodically drift, along with the other planets, out of the disk configuration and line up in a row above or below the Sun and then convert back to a disk configuration again. I remember a picture of the Yuga cycle and our Sun spiraling around in a Birkeland current paired to the star Sirius in our twin Birkeland current. So I think if the Birkeland currents spiral and the solar system disk is oriented to the plasma current in the Birkeland current, then that means the solar disk has to rotate 360 degrees to stay aligned with the current and causes a pole flip. 3. Have you ever thought about what happens to the Earth charge balance when we pass through the galactic current sheet? I expect that passage through the galactic current sheet will increase average proton density from 3 protons per cc to 10 protons per cc as measured when Earth crosses the solar current sheet. At that time I think the Earth has to lose a 7 electrons per cc, right? So this suggests that sometimes the Earth may experience a flood of electrons leaving through the surface into space. Maybe that activates Stonehenge and pyramids. Or maybe the electrons flow from space into Earth during the crossing of the galactic current sheet. I would love to hear your thoughts. Solutions for Earth Catastrophe Cycle. Solutions for Earth Catastrophe Cycle. Like. Reply. Remove preview. 19H. A.D. Hall. Sonic boom, ears ring, windows rattle, the dog hides under the bed. You've heard it before. Thunder from an arc of electric discharge, or from a passing, supersonic jet. One doesn't hear jets much anymore, but in the good old days I used to, when F-100 after B. See more. One comment. Active. Steve Whetstone, thank you for being brilliant as usual. I saw a video on suspicious Zero-B servers that claimed our sun and planet would soon pass through a galactic current sheet. During this passage it is expected the density of protons in our space environment will see more. YouTube.com Magnetic pole shift and mini ice age causes and mechanism. Short version. Magnetic pole shift and mini ice age causes and mechanism. Short version. Like. Reply. Remove preview. 3W. A.D. Hall. In the final chapter of the Eye of the Storm Series 1 presented Easter eggs, surprise geologic findings that confirmed a theory, are presented astonishing new information about Earth's electric circuitry. Exploring the electric Earth is a perpetual egg hunt. See more. A.D. Hall. The winds of Jupiter are arguably the most violent, enigmatic and visually exciting planetary feature in the solar system. The eye of Jupiter, the great red spot, stares at us through the centuries from its station in the lower hemisphere. Winds draw into. See more. A.D. Hall. The Ryan DeCasas with Ryan Murphy and 82 others. What people are willing to overlook for a company car in a corner office is truly disturbing. This is Pandora's the box. Everywhere you look it's people selling you an eye out and justifying it with happy and wholesome sounding empty promises and an obvious motivation for profit. The rest is just decoration. If you want to know what sellouts look like and how they can lie to themselves for a paycheck, look to the life sciences. 38 comments. Stephanie Dryden. 4. Like. Reply. 1W. Richard Holmes Smith. Look to the Vax poison got sellouts everywhere for a pint of beer or to watch the footy. 4. Active Steve Whetstone replied to replies. Allison Wilkes. Like. Reply. 1W. Allison Wilkes. Like. Kelly Durkin replied 10 replies. Janine Begley. They aren't hiding what See more. Earth catastrophe cycle. Earth catastrophe cycle. Like. Comments. Stephanie Dryden. Nat Geo might want to revisit Stick to the Ancients and the Catastrophic CYCLES4. Like. Reply. 1W. Active. Steve. They aren't hiding what they intend to do. 5. Ryan DeCos, edit Nagy and 3 others. 2 comments. Like comment. Comments. Stephanie Dryden. Nat Geo might want to revisit Stick to the Ancients and the Catastrophic CYCLES4. Like. Reply. 1W. Active. Steve Whetstone. Stephanie Dryden. They're public with what they intend to do for humans who want to become cyborgs or evolve. But they're silent about what's going to kill most humans and likely end their high-tech research programs. Hashtag Earth catastrophe cycle is real. Here's a Facebook group about that. https://www.facebook.com/group/557-6778913899670. Earth catastrophe cycle. Earth catastrophe cycle. Like. Reply. Remove preview. 4D. Active. Write a reply. Ryan DeCos, you wrote. Ryan DeCos is with Merlin the Grand and 79 others. What people are willing to overlook for a company car in a corner office. Steve Whetstone. Ryan DeCos, you wrote. What people are willing to overlook for a company car in a corner office is truly disturbing. I think you haven't been paying attention if you believe they do all that for money. Wake up and discover the real strong life and death motivation for all the secrecy and treachery. A lot of these general public drones and worker bees don't know the real danger from Earth catastrophe cycle is here now and will cause the death of many ignorant people. But they know there's people above them in the hierarchy who are willing to die fighting to stay at the top. The public don't know that everyone not in the top 1% are likely going to die soon from natural causes that can be prevented. But they know the people at the top know something they're ready to die and kill for being in the top 1%. But, what do you do when there's an extinction threat in your future and not enough room in the survival shelter for more than 1% of the population? https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=bzfmizxqf YouTube, COMCOSMIC Disaster CIA Classified Cosmic Disaster CIA Classified. Like. Reply. Remove preview. 4D. Hide 15 replies. Ryan DeCos. Steve Whetstone. I would fight to escape that survival shelter. The thought of being stuck underground with the very people that caused the fall of man seems a fate worse than hell. 3. Haha. Reply. 4D. Edited. Active. Steve Whetstone. Ryan DeCos. Don't worry, I'm sure the people in control of the survival shelters will fight to keep you out too. You say you'd rather catch fire from solar X-ray burst during the micronova? Or you prefer to be eaten by starving humans when the power grid goes down and there's not enough food and refrigeration to support more than half the population on the planet? Maybe there's people on Mars who agree with you. https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=sqo7vbmmg70. YouTube com because we care. Adult language BS because we care. Adult language. Like. Reply. Remove preview. 4D. Edited. Vicky and Marie Zaccardo, Steve Whetstone, they can F off. They have done everything they can to destroy Earth and humanity. 1. Like. Reply. 4D. Active. Steve Whetstone, Vicky and Marie Zaccardo, maybe, but what have you done for Earth and humanity lately? How many survival shelters have you built? How many people did you warn about the danger from space that will kill most of the life on Earth that is ignorant and unprepared? Are you even brave enough and smart enough to see the danger from the sun is upon us all? And, also, I guess I have to disagree with you, because I know of quite a few ways they could do a lot more to destroy Earth and humanity if that was their goal. There's several dozen, maybe more than 100 groups and governments and organizations or individuals, and each with the power to destroy most 99.9984% of the human life on the planet. So far as a groups, they've chosen not to kill most all of humans, and they've also formed groups to stop any of the others from killing most all of the humans. These people in high places know of the extinction threat to all humanity and have chosen to protect themselves first. And I have told you of the danger, and still you spend your words and efforts to fight with them instead of spending your words and efforts to save human lives. Or, maybe I'm wrong about you? Tell me what you've done that makes you better than them? Or are you just admitting and accepting your hate towards them without claiming to be better or more deserving? You wrote they can F off. They have done everything they can to destroy Earth and humanity. I upvoted your comment for sincerity and because I more agree than disagree. Like. Reply. 4D. Edited. Vicky and Marie Zaccardo, Steve Whetstone. An awful lot of conjecture about someone you do not know. I know they have technology far advanced of what they let on. I do not believe we are facing an extinction event from the sun. Like. Reply. 4D. Active. Steve Whetstone, Vicky and Marie Zaccardo. Why? I do not believe we are facing an extinction event from the sun. Do you believe they would tell you about the extinction threat from the sun? I can tell you all about it in great detail with science and supporting evidence. I can also prove they are lying to the general public about the sun and how it works, and about the moon craters and what caused them. There are many lies, and most of my conjecture is about them, just like most of your conjecture is about them. But maybe you just don't want to know. If that is your choice to live and die ignorant of the danger, then I apologize for interrupting your ignorant and happy denialism. But it seemed to me like maybe you wanted to understand the dangers to the humanity and work to help humanity. Anyway, I think it's kind of weird how you seem to believe they are eager to destroy humanity, but they would still let you know about a danger from the sun that would destroy humanity. IMO2AFAIK https://www.facebook.com/groups/solutions for Earth Catastrophe Cycle 2048. Solutions for Earth Catastrophe Cycle. Solutions for Earth Catastrophe Cycle 2. Like. Reply. Remove preview. 4D. Edited. Carrie and Steve Whetstone, it is incredibly presumptuous of you to question an average person, like all of us, this way. Seriously? What has she, or any of us, done to save Earth? We've been enslaved by parasites for eons and reduced to living in our prisons by working and slaving tirelessly while being bombarded with torturous poisons and programs and psychological weapons and measures, in order for us to even manage basic living, if this can even be called living, just so the parasites can use us as batteries to even be in existence on our realm. Gee Vicky, I can't understand why you're not doing more to save the Earth. I'm sure this guy is though. In my spare time, in between trying to feed, clothe and house my family and myself, I'll get that superhero thing going to care. Reply. 2D. Edited. Active. Steve Whetstone, Carrie Ann, I hear you're struggling. Sometimes maybe you just need to hear, it's okay girl, we got this. I heart care. Upvote your post. I understand there's a lot going on, and balancing time between survival daily and protecting your future is tough. The good news is that you and everyone in the general public has some time, and most important is just knowing about the danger and accepting it and keeping it in the back of your mind and the corner of your future plans. Being forewarned is to be forearmed, and I have armed and prepared you for a better chance, for a better future. You don't need to act today, but it would help you if you did. You don't need to research the danger in the next few months, but it would increase the odds you and your loved one survive longer if you do act sooner rather than later. But for most people, the first step is to just accept this sort of danger is possible and worth some time and attention, in the same way that all our other planning for the future is worth our time and attention. And there's good news for your overworked, tired self. A lot of problems like the future of Earth or politics or the future of anything isn't really your problem to worry about anymore, because unless you've solved Earth catastrophe cycle, then the rest of that future angst don't even matter. So relax about AI cyborgs, they'll be destroyed by the sun too. Relax about all things political and related to your kids' future, because they don't have a future, unless you spend some effort on this survival thing. You have a new goal, perhaps to save your family and loved ones and self, and that's a new page on a new adventure that can only go in a positive direction. Remember to take it easy on yourself, and the worst case scenario is everyone dies ignorant, which seems to be the status quo plan. So you have nothing to lose by learning, and you have everything to lose if you ignore the danger. But I'm a pirate and maybe not so good at breaking things like this gently to gentle-minded folk. Here's a professional psychologist talking to help you and those like you with understanding and acceptance. There's some such psychological feminist literature type way of dealing with #Earth catastrophe cycle. At https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=q7.
Time for the existential crisis to commence. Has the Earth catastrophe been confirmed? And is it time for the existential crisis to commence? We're going to talk about that in a little bit more, but first we're going to take a deep breath, and we are going to see you on the other side.
The dream is on. I can't be strong. I know I'm strong. Power awaken. I believe I'm great. I need my soul to scream.
At https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=q7 YouTube.com IF Earth catastrophe confirmed, then existential crisis commences. IF Earth catastrophe confirmed, then existential crisis commences. Like. Reply. Remove preview. 2D. Edited. Carrie Ann Steve Whetstone. I'm not struggling, we all are in. To be clear, I'm very aware of what's going on, or as much as any of us possibly can. I do not stick my head in the sand or worry myself with politics or trivial nonsense as you seem to be assuming. I'm also equipped to handle truths far better than the average messes are and learn more about this messed up world every day. Would I even be on Ryan DeCoste's page if I wasn't? You're using assumptions again. I'm far from ignorant. I am also preparing as best as I possibly can for the future based on the dire circumstances that surround us. My point was that your barrage of questions asking about how this person was saving the world was a bit off. Also, I don't sugarcoat either. In fact, I should learn to be more diplomatic myself, but I have bigger things to focus on. I don't believe in psychological or psychiatric quacks any more than the allopathic medical DRS, but if this is worthy of watching, as you claim, I'll take a look. Point 1. Care. Reply. 2D. Edited. Active. Steve Whetstone. Carrie Ann. In my spare time, in between trying to feed, clothe and house my family and myself, I'll get that superhero thing going. 1. Like. Reply. 2D. Carrie Ann. Steve Whetstone. Yes, exactly. What has all this awakening done but to tear us down? It's not a process for the faint of heart, to be sure. We must build a new way, and even if that is with baby steps, then so be it. 1. Like. Reply. 2D. Active. Steve Whetstone. Carrie Ann. What has all this awakening done but to tear us down? It's not a process for the faint of heart, to be sure. We must build a new way, and even if that is with baby steps, then so be it. 1. Like. Reply. 2D. Carrie Ann. Steve Whetstone. Glad we agree then. Lol. 1. Like. Reply. 2D. Carrie Ann. Steve Whetstone. 1. Love. Reply. 2D. Active. Steve Whetstone. Carrie Ann. Okay? YN. 1. Like. Reply. 2D. Active. Write a reply. Stephanie Dryden. #Maunder minimum is inevitable. The Earth has cycles. 1. Like. Reply. 3D. Active. Steve Whetstone, Stephanie Dryden, hashtag Maunder minimum is inevitable. The Earth has cycles. https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=oof-tvu1dxo. YouTube, COMHEADS up only 2.9 years to go. Pole shift grand solar minimum climate CHANGEHEADS up only 2.9 years to go. Pole shift grand solar minimum climate CHANGE1. Like. Reply. Remove preview. 2D. Edited. Stephanie Dryden TY. Something big is definitely coming. Like. Reply. 2D. Active. Write a reply. Steve Whetstone, I'm going to join a lawsuit against Facebook for unlawful and wrongful censorship of vital safety and financial information. Thank you, Wimkin, for letting me join your class action lawsuit. Carol Hannon Mill is with Jana Dixon and 17 others. Tired of FB pushing its own F-King personal opinion on Steve Whetstone, I subscribe and upvote. Steve Whetstone, I subscribe and upvote. Anunnaki. YouTube. Anunnaki history. Anunnaki history shared it post. Watch our latest podcast with special guests Matt LaCroix, author of The Stage of Time. Steve Whetstone, I subscribe and upvote this on Facebook, and the YouTube video. I think this is likely true or probably true info, but I believe the Anunnaki just started us out on that exploitation system. It's time for use to take things to the next level again. I believe the Anunnaki are practicing a mutually beneficial information gifting practice. They only give us information that will result in benefits to us and them. Advancing our evolution, and that includes our economic evolution, was necessary and required competition and some degree of exploitation and great inequality, and humans are being tested and advanced and evolved socially and economically. Hopefully, I'm right and the Anunnaki don't kill me or stop my behavioral economics technology solution to poverty, politics, and existential crisis. Anunnaki history. Anunnaki history shared it post. Billy and Matt Anunnaki Watch our latest podcast with special guests Matt LaCroix, author of The Stage of Time, and Billy Carson, author of The Compendium of the Emerald Tablets. Billy and Matt share and discuss their view on Anunnaki history in this 1 hour 22 minutes podcast hosted by Dolly Lee and Don Jensen from Anunnaki History, Mars Moon Space TV. 48 comments. Michael Larry there from Our Future Time, Space Continuum that is the Anunnaki. How it all works I don't know. Thoth came after Atlantis sunk, he became the creature of I subscribe and upvote this on Facebook, and the YouTube video. I think this is likely true or probably true info, but I believe the Anunnaki just started us out on that exploitation system. It's time for use to take things to the next level again. I believe the Anunnaki are practicing a mutually beneficial information gifting practice. They only give us information that will result in benefits to us and them. Advancing our evolution, and that includes our economic evolution, was necessary and required competition and some degree of exploitation and great inequality, and humans are being tested and advanced and evolved socially and economically.
The dark interior of the sun
Hopefully, I'm right and the Anunnaki don't kill me or stop my behavioral economics technology solution to poverty, politics, and existential crisis. I would like to talk about alternative economics and offer explanations for why the capitalism form of economics given to humans by Thoth was likely a good choice up until now. I want to share a modification to capitalism that fixes a lot of the problems such as inequality and offers a better option, also probably from Thoth, emo. In 2 hours you can discover a new kind of consumer behavioral economic science technology that can solve poverty, re-inclusively visualize politics, and mitigate existential human crisis. Google the HOEP project to find solutions, and all of you humans together can profit with less anxiety and more hope. If you buy things, then you can learn how to get more for your money, your time, and your values. If you sell things, then you can find research on how to make more profit by loving poor and wonderful people more. If you are sad, or if you are worried about the economy and inequality, then we have a solution to share with you. If you fear robots taking away your job, or collapse of economy, or religious fanatics, or political revolution, or healthcare costs, or universal basic income, or housing scarcity, or ecosystem devastation, or earthly cataclysm, or global warming, or existential crisis, or extinction-causing asteroid, or extraterrestrial alien invasions, or God's plan, or anything at all, then understand you're not crazy, and then don't panic yet because we have a completely voluntary
or earthly cataclysm, or global warming, or existential crisis, or extinction-causing asteroid, or extraterrestrial alien invasions, or God's plan, or anything at all, then understand you're not crazy, and then don't panic yet because we have a completely voluntary, highly profitable solution plan for you to consider or contribute towards or profit from that we think might reduce any panic or anxiety and bring hope in your future soon.
It's Don Trenowitz with your 5 o'clock, and things are not looking good in the housing market is down, foreclosures across the market. Flooding downtown with the public
too little love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love.
Steve Whetstone, founder of the HOEP project. Very smart, no money, lots of solutions for solving world problems.